These are the 10 best New Balance sneakers for 2025 that you can grab right now. Number 10, the New Balance 574. Originally released in 1988, the New Balance 574 has become one of the brand's most iconic models. In my opinion, this is the most New Balance looking pair of New Balances, if you get what I'm saying. It was created as a hybrid model, blurring the lines between a trail shoe and a road shoe. The 574 was made on a much wider last than other models of the time, making it more comfortable for wider-footed people than most of the other shoes out there. The upper of the shoe comes in a mix of leathers and synthetics, which has stayed pretty much the same since it launched. The sneaker comes with an end cap midsole, which essentially combines soft foam with a polyurethane rim, which gives the shoe some impact protection and stability. It's not going to blow you away comfort-wise, but it is soft enough to get you through the day. Retailing for $90 and coming in a plethora of colorways, the 574 is a great choice for everyday wear. Of course, if you want to grab this pair or any of the other pairs that I mentioned in today's video, make sure to check them out through the affiliate links in the description below and also through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Number 9, the New Balance Fresh Foam X More V5. The New Balance Fresh Foam X More V5 is not only the softest shoe on the list, I also think it's just the most comfortable shoe in general. The X More V5 is the latest iteration of New Balance's popular More series, known for its cushioning and plush feel. This shoe is designed with long-distance runners in mind, as well as people looking for ultra-soft recovery shoes. Really anyone looking for that plush cushioning, that max cushion. And the Fresh Foam X in the midsole provides exactly that, a very plush and soft feel while still being pretty lightweight. It's also a surprisingly stable shoe. It's got a very wide base that prevents you from feeling like you're wobbling around on top of the shoe, especially because it is such a tall shoe. The X More V5 officially released last year, and it looks like it will be replaced this year with the X More V6, which to be honest doesn't look like that big of an improvement, so even if you grab this shoe after that shoe comes out, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. But hey, we'll just have to wait and see. Don't forget to subscribe to see more about that shoe when it officially releases. But getting back into this shoe, the upper of the V5 comes in an engineered mesh that improves breathability and provides a more secure and flexible fit. Plus, you get some of that plush padding around the ankle area and on the tongue, which gives you a very pillowy feel around your foot. I love it. I mean, it's definitely the softest shoe that I've personally ever worn, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for that unbelievably soft max cushion. And you can get all that softness for just $155, which is not incredibly cheap, but it's also definitely not a bad price and cheaper than a lot of the other options out there. Speaking of comfort, why don't you pair the comfiest sneaker out there with the comfiest socks out there, APTHCRY socks. APTHCRY socks are specifically designed to be comfortable and breathable for all day wear. They keep your feet feeling fresh while you stay looking fresh. That's a new motto I just came up with. I actually kind of like that. So check out some of our upcoming limited collections through the link in the top of the description below. Number 8, the New Balance 1000. Last year saw the return of the New Balance 1000, a sneaker from 1999 that's been stored in the vault for decades. The shoe features a sleek shape and paneling that at the time was very futuristic. Now, as a sneakerhead who grew up on Nikes, I kind of think of this shoe as like the foam posit of the New Balance world, at least when it comes to the thought behind the design of this shoe. It's kind of like the 1990s, early 2000s vision of the future. And although this shoe doesn't really look like the foam posits, it's definitely got a similar feel to it. The upper of the shoe comes with mesh underlays and synthetic overlays that give it a tech runner vibe. Moving down, you get to the sculpted midsole with absorbed cushioning, which makes it a pretty comfortable shoe underfoot. I mean, okay, let's be real. Every pair of New Balances is probably going to be pretty comfortable, but not all of them are going to be as soft as something like the X More V5s. But in this case, it's a comfortable shoe that's very easy to rock for all day wear. Even though this shoe is over 25 years old, it still has a modern and sleek aesthetic while maintaining that 2000s runner feel. New Balance sells the 1000 for $150, and I think it's a great lifestyle pair to pick up if you like the way that it looks. Number 7, the New Balance 2002R. The 2002R is a modernized version of the 2002, which first ironically released back in 2010. The shoe still retains a lot of the original design, but updates many of the materials and the cushioning. The upper generally comes in mesh with suede overlays, making it feel very premium for the price, which by the way is $145. The midsole features absorbed cushioning and feels great even after extended wear. And visually, I love the way it looks. It really is one of the best looking classic runners out there. New Balance has also dropped some fire colorways of this shoe, like the Rain Cloud colorway from the Protection Pack, or of course, the Soleil Hibembri 2002Rs, which I love. It's an excellent all-around lifestyle shoe with good looks and great comfort. I highly recommend it. Number 6, the New Balance 990 V6. The 990 V6 is the latest iteration of the classic New Balance 990 line. The design of the V6 was a much more drastic change from previous versions than really any of the other versions before it, except for maybe the V1 to the V2. I've always thought of the 990 line as like the pinnacle of quality when it comes to New Balance. The shoes feature top-of-the-line materials, especially for the price point, and an excellent build quality. Now, to be fair, the price point is hefty. A standard pair of 990 V6s retails for $200, but I do think it's worth it. Originally created to be the best running sneaker of all time, the 990 line slowly transitioned over the years to become much more about lifestyle than running. While sure, you could run in the 990 V6, there are other sneakers out there that New Balance makes that, in my opinion, are more suited for the wants of modern runners. Doesn't mean you can't though. Like I said, and I have run in it, it's fine, but I do prefer some other shoes, which we'll talk about later on in the list. The 990 V6 features a mesh upper with suede and synthetic overlays, and the upper is pretty well padded. It feels very pillowy on foot. I love it. The midsole cushion is made up of a mix of end cap and the newer super soft fuel cell foam, giving the shoe a very plush and very comfortable ride. Out of all of the traditional looking lifestyle sneakers on this list, I'd say that the New Balance 990 V6 is probably the most comfortable. I also love the way that the midsole looks. It's modern, it's organic, and I really like these swooping lines. I actually think the 990 V6 in general is just a beautifully designed shoe. And again, it's definitely not cheap, but I do think it's probably one of my favorite shoes on the list. Number 5, the New Balance 1906. So this shoe's a bit different than any of the other shoes on the list because there are so many different versions of it. There's the 1906R right here, which is the flagship model that's a reimagining of the classic 1906 from 2009. There's also the 1906A, which is a more deconstructed take on the silhouette, and now they've added the 1906L, which is a loafer variant. You guys can check out my review of the 1906L through the link at the top of the screen. It is a wild pair of sneakers, but it's incredibly popular for some reason. I don't get it. Needless to say, the 1906 is an incredibly versatile silhouette. Originally named after the year that New Balance was founded, 1906, the sneaker was designed as you would expect to be a running sneaker. After its initial run on store shelves, New Balance put the model back in the vault, and it re-emerged over the last few years as the brand new 1906R. This newer version of the shoe draws heavily on the original, and it maintains its 2000s style and appearance while incorporating some newer touches. When it comes to cushioning, the New Balance 1906R features Activa Light and Absorb SBS pods, which are right there in the heel, which make the shoe pretty comfortable underfoot for all day wear. I say pretty, but it's actually a very comfortable shoe. It generally comes in a wide mesh upper with synthetic overlays, as you can see on the upper of this shoe, which has caught a lot of collaborators' attention. This shoe has become so popular, it's become the base of many different collaborations like this one, the ALD collaboration, or even This Is Never That collaboration, or the Jack Harlow collab, or the Salehi Bembry's, or even the Action Bronsons. I'm sure there's more, I just can't remember all of them. And even in the very widely available GR colorways, the model has been incredibly popular because of its aesthetics and comfortability. Most pairs of 1906s come in at a retail price of $155. However, some colorways sell for way more or way less depending on the availability, the materials, and the silhouette. For example, I think the 1906Ls and the 1906As actually sell for more money than the 1906Rs. And actually, like I just said about the 990 V6s, I do think the 1906Rs are one of my favorite pairs of New Balances. Number 4, the New Balance 1080 V14. As much as I love the Exmore V5 for its just insanely plush cushion, the New Balance 1080 V14 is really my go-to max cushion shoe. Not only is this shoe ridiculously comfortable underfoot, it's also a great everyday running sneaker. In fact, in the words of New Balance, if they only made one running shoe, this would be it. That's literally what they say on the website. You can actually read it on the product description if you want to check it out through the links in the description below. Seriously, that's exactly what they say. The 1080 V14 is the 14th iteration of the 1080, and this time around it comes with Fresh Foam X in the midsole, by far one of New Balance's softest foams. This foam provides a very plush, responsive feel and is one of the softest underfoot cushions that I've ever worn. I don't think New Balance was lying in that description though, because personally this shoe has become my go-to running sneaker, and I find myself wearing this shoe casually all the time. In fact, I walked around for days at Disney World in this shoe, and I'm glad I did because this shoe is way more comfortable than anything else that I brought on the trip. I brought a pair of Jordan 1s, threw those on for like 10 minutes, and I was like, nope, this is not gonna happen, and wore these guys the entire trip. But getting back into running, I'm kind of a slower runner. I like to take my time, and this shoe offers me that well-cushioned ride that I'm looking for while still having some great bounce. Getting to the upper, it comes in a very lightweight engineered mesh, which is comfortable and breathable. I actually think this is one of my favorite uppers on the list in terms of comfort. It just feels amazing on foot. Plus, the ankle area and the tongue are very well padded. It's a seriously comfortable shoe. I really like the aesthetics of this shoe as well. It's not too busy or too overdone. The midsole changes from generation to generation, and I feel like the V14 is actually my favorite midsole sculpting that they've ever done. The 1080 V14 comes in at a retail price of $165, which definitely pushes it into the premium tier, but I really think this is the best daily trainer on the list. It's really the most well-rounded shoe in terms of wearability and comfort, and even aesthetics, honestly. It's just a great all-around shoe. Number 3, the New Balance 9060. The 9060 is one of New Balance's newest lifestyle silhouettes. Unlike many of New Balance's models, the 9060s were specifically designed as an everyday lifestyle sneaker that prioritizes comfort and aesthetics. The 9060 also features some of New Balance's best tried and true cushioning technology like SBS and Absorb cushioning. As you might be able to tell from looking at it, the New Balance 9060 draws inspiration from the iconic 990 line, specifically on the upper of the shoe, but it changes things up with the midsole. The midsole is wild. As you could have guessed, the upper is super plush, super comfortable on foot, and relatively breathable. It is a padded mesh, so it's not going to let a huge amount of air through, but it does let some. And on just about every colorway of this shoe, you're treated to a premium suede upper with padded mesh and leather accents. In my opinion, this sneaker is the perfect mashup of old and new, of classic and modern. And apparently the public thinks so too, because the 9060 is one of the most popular models that New Balance makes. As far as price point, the New Balance 9060 comes in at $150, which isn't especially cheap, but also won't break the bank. I mean, for that price, you're getting a good-looking, looking, comfortable model that also comes in surprisingly premium materials. That kind of seems like the theme for New Balance in general, like they're all pretty good value. Number 2, the New Balance 530. Launched in 92, which is 33 years ago. I know that because I also launched in 92. The New Balance 530 was created as a high-tech runner featuring the, at the time, new absorb cushioning in the heel. Unfortunately, at that time, the shoe just didn't hit, but over the years, it found its way back to store shelves multiple times. In 2025, the New Balance 530 is once again on people's radars and is quite possibly the most popular pair of lifestyle New Balances on the market right now. I actually asked some people at New Balance what the most popular model was, and they said unequivocally it's the New Balance 530, at least for lifestyle wear. It's crazy because I knew it was popular, but I never would have guessed it was the most popular. The 530 features a 90s running aesthetic with wide meshes on the upper and metallic overlays, and it comes in at a very affordable retail price of just 99 bucks. It's an excellent everyday sneaker that combines both comfort and style, and it's incredibly easy to rock with any fit. Number 1, the New Balance 740. Returning from the archives in 2024, the 740 was designed as a workhorse daily trainer, the kind of running shoe that you'd throw on to do everything in. This classic sneaker still features a 2000s running aesthetic and materials that made it as popular as it was when it first released, and in 2025, it's poised to become a juggernaut in the sneaker world. Like many of the other shoes on this list, the 740 features a wide mesh upper overlaid by synthetics. Like most of the other shoes on this list, the upper is well padded but still breathable, and the usually metallic silver overlays give it a pretty distinctive look. The midsole, as you can see right there, has absorb cushioning, which does a good job at literally absorbing impact and providing a soft enough ride. No, it's not like the more V5s or even the 1080s, not even close, but it is still a decently comfortable underfoot experience. And like I said earlier, all New Balances generally are pretty comfortable, but where the 740 really shines is its visual design and its price point. First of all, the shoe looks great. It's got a clean and classic aesthetic, which looks really good in pretty much any color you can slap on it, which has made it a hit with collaborators. That retro 2000s running sneaker vibe continues to be huge in 2025, so the 740 is very in style at the moment. And I personally love how versatile it is. It can be dressed up or dressed down and looks great with pretty much anything, like a fresh pair of APTHCRY socks, but I digress. But what cements this shoe at the top of the list for me is the $109 price point. At that price, I feel like you're getting an incredible value with this shoe. It also competes directly with one of ASICS's most popular models, the 1130, and in a lot of ways, I think the New Balance 740 is a better overall choice. The 740s are going to be a go-to for me in 2025 and will absolutely get some heavy wear in my rotation this year. But hey, if you made it to this point in the video, let me know in the comment section down below which pair you like the best. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.